If you don't know what anxiety and depression is, well, according to the book Fundamentals of Abnormal Psychology, anxiety is the central nervous system's physiological and emotional response to a vague sense of threat or danger. A type of anxiety would be generalized anxiety disorder, which is a disorder marked by excessive feelings of anxiety and worry about numerous events and activities. Depression is a low, sad state marked by significant levels of sadness, lack of energy, low self-worth, guilt, or other related symptoms. Now, I'd like to ask you all a question. Raise your hand if you have ever dealt with stress, worry, and/or self-doubt. Raise your hand if you have ever dealt with anxiety and depression before. Do you know anybody who has dealt with these disorders before? And a matter of fact, anxiety is a very common mental illness. Anxiety disorders affect nearly 1 in 5 Americans each year. An average person may feel anxiety when going to a dentist appointment, but a person with anxiety disorder will feel anxiety every time they leave their house. Did you know that this is one of the most common mental illnesses and one of the most easiest to understand, but we still don't fully understand it, which is an issue because it can lead to other health problems such as heart disease, diabetes, substance abuse, depression, and more. Unrealistic academic, social, or family expectations can create a strong sense of rejection and can lead to deep disappointment. There's no surprise that some people get these two disorders mixed up. People with depression often experience symptoms similar to an anxiety disorder, such as nervousness, irritability, and problems sleeping and concentrating. But each disorder has its own causes and its own emotional and behavioral symptoms. Some differences are based on gender and age. For example, in young children, it tends to be school refusals, anxiety when separated from parents, and worried about parents dying. In teens, it tends to be irritability, sulking, and getting into trouble. Some people I know say that these feelings are like a cage in your own brain, or it's like a snake biting you and you're slowly becoming paralyzed. My sister says that she imagines herself in a white room. Everything's okay at first, but then it slowly becomes dark. Then it becomes completely pitch black. But then God comes in and makes everything better. For me, it's like drowning in an ocean. Your hands or feet are tied up and monsters are trying to eat you. And every time you try to swim back to the surface, another wave comes crashing down. But then God comes in, breaks my chains, and now I'm on the surface. Here are some ways that I want to help other people get on the surface. Now, unfortunately, there is no real cure to anxiety and depression, only ways to live above it. For me, talking to someone about my problems really helps. Talking to God also helps me too. Antidepressants and other medications help people, but I do think people should be careful when taking medications because it can lead to other health problems such as substance abuse, drug problems, and more. Making lifestyle changes such as changing your diet, getting exercise, going outside is really good for your mental health, getting proper rest, 8 to 10 hours of sleep, and practicing mindfulness and learning skills to help with stress. Going to therapy is really good too. For example, one of my teachers has dealt with depression during college, and she didn't even know she had depression. So she decided to go to a therapist to see if something was wrong. After a few years, she got better. Now, every day she starts class by saying, "Isn't it a great day to be alive?" And I do believe that it is a great day to be alive. Every day is a blessing. I know it gets hard. Those waves will knock you down, but that's just life. But right now, or anytime, you guys do this with me. Look at your hands and feet and move them around. Put your hand on your chest and feel yourself breathing. See that? You're here. You're alive, and I believe that you're here for a purpose. Make every day worth living. I know that you can do it.